So mga kabanat, Imee Marcos nagsalita na dito sa mga petisyon labang kay Bongbong Marcos. Ito'y interview ni Pia, ano ba to? Pia Hontiveros sa kanyang show kung saan sinagot lahat ni Imee Marcos, lalo na itong mga haka-haka ngayon patungkol sa kuya niya sakaling matanggal. Pero mga kababayan, itong Comelec ay naglabas naman ng opisyal na listahan na 11 na mga matakbong presidente ay kasama naman sa listahan itong si Bongbong Marcos. Ang natanggal lang talaga itong si General Parladi, hindi sa talaga kasama sa listahan ng tatakbong pagka-presidente. So ganun pa man ay sinisikap pa rin ng mga anti-Marcos na maalis itong si Bongbong Marcos, at sabi nga ng mga wansambahayan ngayon, kasi yung wansambahayan ngayon ay tila umiinit na naman yung tumbong dahil nga si Bongbong Marcos nakita nila sa opisyal na listahan na nandun pa rin. Yan ang inasahan nila, kasi ma-disqualify talaga o ma-cancel ang kanyang COC. Subalit,
the tandem of Senator Ping Lacson and Senator Tito Soto say the Senate can elect a new leader who will serve as acting president if the 2022 elections will be postponed. Joining us tonight is Senator Imee Marcos, chairperson of the Committee on Electoral Reforms and People's Participation on this and much more. And of course, needless to say, she is of course the sister of former Senator Bongbong Marcos. Ang dami pwedeng pag-usapan, buti na lang ang ganda ng timing ni Senator Imee na mag-guest sa show. So, Senator Imee, let's begin with this, no? Dahil ang pinag-usapan kanina with James Jimenez ay yung mga kaso na against sa kapatid mo. So, let's talk about that first. There are 6 cases, 1 down, 5 to go. In the long run, what do you think really is going to happen to all these cases against you?
Yes, of course, I've been working with the Comelec very closely since I became a senator and the chairman of the electoral reform. So firstly, let me say that I trust in the Comelec's fairness, and I am certain that the rule of law will prevail at the end of all that. On the other hand, let me also say that I think it is most important that we allow the will of the people to be heard. Sundan natin ang kagustuhan ng taong bayan, sapagkat itong mga sinasabi nga nila, mga kaso, mga technical obstacles that are being put in the way may eventually result in an assault on the credibility of the electoral process. That would be the worst thing that could possibly happen, resulting in instability in already very anxious times.
Mm-hmm. So you are, Senator Imee, if I'm not mistaken, you are for the holding of the May 9, 2020 elections and no postponement, no moving of the election calendar whatsoever.
Yes, as President Duterte has said repeatedly, the elections on May 9 will proceed in accordance with law and with the Constitution. And I think it must be so. Certainly, any effort to derail that schedule, which the Comelec cannot even postpone, not even a new law can change that, because it is written very clearly in our Constitution. Anything that endangers that will be in violation of the Constitution. Nabubuhay tuloy ang kung ano-anong chismis at haka-haka na may isisingit daw ng mga bagong kandidato. Bakit hindi naman linagay noon pa? There was such a long period, as Mr. Jimenez has stated. Why wasn't it filed at that point during the timely period? At nabubuhay tuloy ang nakakatakot na multo ng Noel or no election na ayaw natin na mangyari. Higit sa lahat, many of those on the administration side have said to me, hindi ba marami naman ang administration candidate? We are one political family, even if there are many candidates today. And like every family, there are grudges, there are hurts, there are roiling resentments even. But instead of dragging them to Comelec and the courts and confusing people, why is it that we just do not talk about it like a family around the kitchen table? It is a family, after all, that surrounds the president, And there are no sins that cannot be forgiven in this kind of political family. Siguro, as the Pope said in his Christmas message, it is time for dialogue, for transparency, for openness, and a generous heart.
No sins that cannot be forgiven. What exactly are you referring to, Senator Imee?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Oh, you said no sins that cannot be forgiven. What exactly are you referring to?
Well, marami kasing nagsasabi na iba-ibang faksyon na nagkasakitan na, nagkasalitaan na ng masakit, may mga maanghang na salita na nabitawan. Wala namang problema yun, di ba? Tiisan tayong lahat. At the end of the day, we all fully support the President, his agenda, and the continuance of his exemplary projects and programs.
Mm-hmm. Senator Imee, I know you said earlier na in no way should or can the elections on May 9, 2022 be postponed. However, if that theory of a scenario of the no-L situation happens, even without an election, si Ping Lacson and Tito Soto have said na posible pa naman magkaroon ng acting president dahil meron pa rin beyond June 30, 2022, meron pa rin 12 senador. And one of them is you, who are incumbent until June 30, 2025. So if that situation happens, yung 12 senador na yon na incumbent ay pwedeng mag-elect ng Senate President who can be acting president. That is in the law anyway, right? In the Constitution. So it is possible.
Yes. Theoretically, what would occur then is that succession law, or the laws on who will succeed the president in the event of a vacuum, will take place. And hindi na election law, kundi succession ang magte-take over dahil hindi nagkaroon ng election. This is something that we really do not want to happen, but
Yes.
Theoretically, indeed, this could occur. And any of the senators who are able to sit until 2025 could possibly be elected as Senate President. Pero sana hindi ito mangyari. Alam na natin na napakahirap ng panahon. Meron pang Omicron ulit, na COVID na tayo, pagkatapos tinamaan pa ng Odette at sari-saring mga pinsala. This is really the time for credible and strong and united leadership. We simply cannot afford to defer the election against the Constitution.
Agreed. The elections must push through May 9, 2022. Your brother, former Senator Bongbong Marcos, has been doing very well in pre-campaign surveys. Do you think this is going to hold when the campaign, whatever form it takes, depending on the pandemic? Will this kind of survey ranking still hold during the campaign?
Well, as I've said before, these surveys come as a complete, if pleasant, surprise to all of us. We are humbled by the extraordinary support that my brother has received. But like you said, anything can happen in an election. And certainly, this is the first national election we are conducting under pandemic conditions. Even the COMELEC, it's still a work in progress, exactly what will be done and what will be allowed, because the Omicron, for example, has become a game changer and has literally become so infectious that perhaps these campaign activities that we are so traditionally accustomed to cannot be embarked upon